I've studied many times the marble that was chiseled for me. A boat with a furled sail at rest in a harbor. In truth, it pictures not my destination, but my life. For love was offered me, but I shrank from its disillusionment. Sorrow knocked at my door, but I was afraid. Ambition called to me, but I dreaded the chances. Yet all the while longing for meaning in my life. And now I know that we must lift the sail and catch the winds of destiny wherever they drive the boat. To put meaning in one's life may end in madness, but life without meaning is the torture of restlessness and vague desire. It is a boat longing for the sea and yet afraid. Spoon River. If you have done any kind of longer term actor training, like maybe a Meisner program or a Stella Adler program where you were in class for longer than a few months, you probably have encountered Spoon River. Maybe your university did it or something like that. If you're not aware, Spoon River is a collection of poems by Edgar Lee Masters, and every poem is from the point of view of someone from the town in Spoon River that has died. And every person has a very distinct personality, point of view, sort of unfinished business that they have. And some poems are just telling their story. Some poems are kind of a warning or a lesson, like George Gray was today. And some poems are like unfinished business. So it's a really interesting read. There's, I think, well over 100. I have read every single one a few years ago. And they're interesting to delve in as an actor, and they are given as acting exercises. So I just thought they would be fun, a bit of an homage to acting training to add to the challenge on occasion. I don't know how many I'll do, but I've always loved George Gray. It is one that I did for a class years and years and years ago, and I wanted to revisit it now. And in summary, George Gray is saying you have to try in your life the things that you feel called and compelled to do, but maybe scare you, and so you aren't doing. And George Gray, unfortunately, has learned this lesson too late. And so I think it's so beautifully written to say, like, I've studied many times the marble that was chiseled for me, a boat with a furled sail at rest in a harbor. In truth, it pictures not my destination, but my life. So all that's saying is, on my tombstone, there's this boat in a harbor. And it looks like, wow, I really went around the world and I lived. But my big, deep, dark secret is that I actually didn't go anywhere or do anything. I was way too scared. So, and then walks through the big things, right? Love, grief, and ambition. And I really wanted these things in my life, but I was too afraid to put myself out there or try anything or risk anything. And now I know that's the actual opposite way to live, and you have to try. And it may end in disaster, but if you don't, that is a worse fate. If you let fear drive your life, that is a worser fate. And I feel so personally connected to this because I had a similar path where for many, many years, I let doubt and fear keep me from pursuing the things I wanted to pursue, particularly an acting career. I had a personal experience where I went through a lot of grief. I lost my father. And one of the things that I grappled with in that first year or two of grief was that my own mortality, because I wasn't expecting my father to pass away. He was quite young, actually, when he did. He was only 62. And so I had this own, like, if I died today, would I feel satisfied? Would I have regrets in life? And the answer I knew categorically was yes. But for a long time, I didn't know what that meant and why. And slowly I came to realize, or could at least had the bravery enough to confess what I think I knew for a long time, was that it was to pursue this creative acting life. I was a later in life actor, and it's kind of scary to start something like this when you're not 18, 21, 22. I was older. And so I went and got trained and yada, yada, yada. And now I live in LA and I pursue it. So, and I'm certainly not where I want to be in my career. There's a ton that I want to accomplish, but I know that I'm moving toward the thing that I've always wanted to try. And so I could confidently say that though there are things that I still want to accomplish in life, if something were to happen to me and I were to die today or tomorrow, I would have zero regrets because I know that I'm at least trying, even though I'm not where I want to be. And before, I honestly could not say that. I could not say that. I wasn't pursuing anything that I really loved or cared about. And that can mean a lot of things in a lot of areas of life. I was lucky that I was really satisfied in a lot of other personal areas of life. But in that like career ambition area, I had been way too scared to try anything risky. Anyway, so I hope this inspired you. If it didn't, that's okay. It wasn't for you. But check out Spoon River. Maybe someone else's will. They're really fun to play with. And if you've done them before, I hope this put a smile on your face to see one. It's interesting to revisit it after a few years. I've not touched George Gray in a long time. And I really tried to keep it simple and just leave myself alone during it, which is always my goal, but to really sort of simplify this one. Anyway, I may do more Spoon Rivers later in the challenge, who knows? But if you liked it, if it inspired you, if you have a similar story in your life, please comment below. I love to talk about these things. If you need encouragement, please comment below. I am there for you in your corner. And otherwise, give this monologue a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the next one. Thank you so much.